Welcome back to episode 2 of Terraria, and today I think the main goal is going to be to get started on building, but to be able to build, we need some resources, and to get resources we need to mine and finish exploring. So I think it's about time for a good old-fashioned time-lapse. Okay, trying to make it back to where we died, and I am just being chased by a ton of demon eyes. This is insane. Look at all those guys. We are almost back, but it's kind of hilarious that I beat a worm, 50 slimes, not even 50 slimes, a whole bunch of slimes and everything else, and I died from a rolling cactus. It seems inanimate objects are my worst enemies. And we've also found this cool little underground house, so we can actually start looting some stuff from here. I need to get rid of some things that I don't need. Jeez. Which apparently I am out of space, so I need to oh jeez. All right, let's get back to the base and clear out a bunch of this stuff. We are back at the base. Now, I have already thrown everything into some storage here, and the reason being is it's time to say goodbye to our starter hut. I know it's already episode 2, very early on, but this is the location I want to start building our castle in. So we are going to go ahead and start clearing some of this out, starting with our crafting items, which you might have noticed digging pretty fast here because we've actually collected up some meat items for accessories. So our climbing claws, we found something a little bit better. A stool, apparently I can press up to stand on a stool now. We have increased movement speed, and then this chisel is absolutely amazing, increasing my mining speed by 25%. So instead of hitting a block slowly, I actually kind of nail through a few things. Over here, we have now built a little crafting area to start getting on everything, which I need, whoops, to move some stuff around here. Beautiful. One thing to keep in mind is that your crafting tables, you have to be within a certain distance to actually use the crafting items. So if I'm in here, I have to be on level with that apparently, I guess. Or I just need stuff in my inventory. So, before crafting, we're going to go through some of the items we collected. So here's a whole bunch of basic things that we grabbed. I did get a whole lot of rocks. Why? Who is squishing? Okay. Then we have all of our precious materials. We have a good amount of tin, silver, and everything like that. Hopefully some better gear coming our way. Some decorative items from the house we found, potions, and just a whole bunch of alternative weapons, shuriken, bunch of fun stuff. So I should be able to now craft all of the bars and everything, but if I move a certain distance away from the furnace, you'll notice everything disappears. And going back to the body, I actually found 20 fallen stars, which is ridiculous for one tiny trip. So what they do are allow you to apparently craft a lot more than what I'm thinking. Nope, I also grabbed a bunch of stones, but they allow you to craft mana crystals. I can make 6 of those, and our mana's on the top right, which, just like the heart containers, crystals, allow you to up your mana to a certain point. So now I can start being a little magic-y. Abracadabra, I guess? Moving on. We have a couple of block choices to start our castle with. Now I want to put down a good base layer. Every good building needs a foundation, right? But I want to start also the walls with our gray bricks. So I'm going to go ahead and make a good bunch of those, and we have stone slabs as well. It's gonna be pretty gray, but I want to start building something new in the background. Now with these stone slabs and gray bricks, you can also make some new background walls. So I'm gonna make just a couple of each of these to see what they look like when we're placing them in. Ooh, stone doors too. I like that. Let me actually get 2 of those, because what we're going to be starting with is our main hall. We're going to start that directly center of the base, have that as a nice focal point, and then move out from there to towers, rooms, and anything else we can think of. Get into dawn, and unfortunately, we need to get rid of this hut. So, sorry Colin, you're going to have to move out. I need the space. You'll get a nicer room eventually. So now we still have our background walls in here, and the thing you need to actually destroy background walls and have some other functionality is a hammer. So let's see what kind of hammers we can make here. Tin will do just fine for the time being. Grab that. Just move some things around here. And the nice thing about the hammers is, one, if I can stop being hit by tiny creatures, is you can actually change the shapes of blocks. So as we're running through caves, you might have noticed that the blocks themselves look a little bit different. So by hitting it, I can change the orientation, change the angles, really nice details you can throw in there. And also, you can destroy background walls. Look, Colin, I'm sorry. The hut had to go. We're gonna have a much nicer house eventually, but honestly, you never paid rent. You never did your dishes, and you didn't even have a place to sleep. You were like a pig. Come on. Onto the castle. It's thrown in 1 base foundation here, serving 2 purposes. One's going to get us a little bit more even with the side areas here. And 2, just for aesthetic purposes, I'm going to start throwing in some additional bottom area. It is going to give us a nice base to start building off of. So we're not just building from dirt floors up into a castle. We actually have a floor. Look at that. God, I hate slimes are so annoying. So having something that's perfectly flat, perfectly level, as our floor is here, isn't necessarily one of the best things you can do. By making things look a little bit more ruined or a little bit more out of the ordinary, makes them feel much more natural. Having things too perfect will make it seem extremely man-made, let's say. So if I start in one section, I want to start throwing in just some markers here. And a nice feature is that we actually have a ruler now, so we can determine how big the area is we want. So I believe I want to start with a 20-foot long room. That seems right. Now, how high do we want this thing to go is the question as well. So I think let's just start jumping up a little bit and see how far we've gone. 14 high. 15 high? 15 by 20? Sounds about right. This will also give us some space to kind of experiment with a few things, so come on, die. Throwing in our doors so we can build uninterrupted. Stone door 1, stone door 2. And we can start actually trying our background walls as well. So how do we feel about this versus that? Kind of like the large stone bricks. I think we're going to go for that and then have these stone areas in somewhere for detail, possibly. Playing with a couple of ideas here. This room got it a little bit together. One easy tip is that the platforms that we use for exploring caves are also amazing scaffolding when you start putting in some back walls. But this just, it honestly just doesn't feel grand enough. So I need to expand it a bit more. But the question is, do I go up to 25 blocks wide? Do I go 30 blocks wide? And here we are, expanded out to 30, which definitely feels better. 30 by 15, 14-ish. I'm definitely liking the feel of the room a bit more. Much more space to start building things in. Just gotta finish the background walls. Well, the base layer background walls, let's say, because we're not gonna leave it this plane. And see if I can place things correctly and stop running out of stuff. Grabbing some red brick rolls and idea time. Throwing in a couple of random statues, the one chandelier we found down below, which moves whenever I walk by it, kind of neat. and a little decoration around the top. Now, of course, we still have a whole lot of work to do, but I want to try something with campfires. See if we might be able to get a few. This is where the problem is of 1 or 2, because this fits perfectly under a 2. You know what? I could probably extend those, but for now, let's go ahead and do that. And I have the red brick walls here, which I can replace some of the background around just the fire itself. And here we go for interior design. Quite splendid, I say. I am actually really liking this. Let's grab a couple more of you and throw in some stuff around and up, which I keep replacing things I don't want to, but maybe building up the fireplaces so they're almost like giant hearths inside of this main hall that we can then put a large dining table in the middle of, start building rooms on the sides, tops, and towers to go up. Now the question is, how many towers, how many rooms, what else are we going to build here? I have no clue. If you have any suggestions, leave comments on what you might want to see built, and we can definitely get started on some of those. Let me finish out this here, do a couple more tiny tweaks, and we'll see where we are at the end of the day. And time for the reveal! So this is the general design that I have for the time being. Has a lot more work that I need to get done. Little windows in here. I do not like the copper chandelier at all. That's going to have to change eventually. But need to mess around with some choices for the blocks. Start adding on around here. So if you have any ideas for the design of this place, definitely let me know. Put some comments down there on what you might want to see. We might be able to get started on building eventually. And Colin has been a very, very bad roommate. He's just been letting zombies in here left and right, so he is gonna get kicked out of here momentarily. Unfortunately, however, I am actually out of time for the day, so let's zoom in to give you all one last close look at what we have so far. Leave those comments for anything you might want to see built later on, and next time we'll go ahead and continue working out some of these things. You know, all the YouTube stuff. Click the link, sign up for the things, get that bell notification, and I will see you all next time. Stick around if you want to see the bloopers. You know, it'd probably help if I recorded my voice. Doop-a-doop-doop-doop-doo-doo. And to the Wikipeas. Wikipeas. I cannot build right now. Please, oh Wiki, please. Wiki, oh Wiki, please for me. Just please give me the Wiki. Wiki. Class, what do I want to make? I'm still recording. A little bit of sand by my side. A little bit of stone, all that you need. A little bit of granite in your... Yeah. But you know all the normal YouTube stuff. What is happening here? Click buttons and the